that self-sustenance that Marcus Garvey pushed for, that one united Africa movement and all that. That is only mainly amongst the Rastafari groups,
Mhm.
and or other conscious, Afro-conscious groups, and maybe there are still remnants of
Uh-huh.
um,
St. Kitts and
Gav.
Nevis. I think with
Uh-huh.
willpower, I didn't invite my Florida people here, but with
Hmm.
willpower and a good push, we can get to St. Kitts, Nevis, and how you say St. Lucia. Even St. Lucia, the EWF has a chapter there. Not the
Yeah, so St. Lucia, the organization is much more vibrant. There are several different organizations. I would have visited St. Lucia a couple of
they're
times,
bigger. They're bigger.
um,
They're like two hundred
and it's a
thousand.
much bigger population, right?
Yeah, so I
Very
expect
much
that.
bigger,
But with
right?
if we of us in the Florida, I know they'll appreciate the economics, and we just have to be structured and on point and deliver what we say we want. And uh,
Well,
look,
that's a good idea. If we're gonna approach, um,
even the
let's say,
travel is
resuscitate,
economic in St. Kitts.
right? If we're gonna resuscitate that, then that is a good plan. At least you're coming and not just forming an organization, but at least you would have an organization with a plan, with things that you're working on to really push the youths and the future generation with. I think it is very much timely and needed, because a lot of the Caribbean islands right now, because a lot of the youths are lost and don't know themselves. They're just killing themselves, and that's what's happening right now. There's a lot of gang violence, and youths killing themselves, and I know it is as a result of them not knowing who they really are. And so we really need to get that part of it. And I think what you're talking about in terms of travel and finance and so on could be a good way, especially the financial part, that could encourage a lot of these youths, because I think sometimes what they fight over is either money or retaliation. Somebody who did something to somebody, and they try to use that method. But if we're supposed to equip their minds, empower them, and put them in a position where they can not only just sustain themselves, but they have their own businesses and can also empower other young youths, then we could probably have a shift and see the kind of results that we really need to see as a people.
Hmm. And with me, my personal limitation is the finance, but also driving. So I don't drive. But 5 hours from where I'm located, it's Miami, and there's a lot of embassies, and I know there's politics behind what gets delivered to the islands. But I was thinking that Miami could be a jumping off point, or for these St. Kitts Association. If we could have a town
Right.
hall, I was thinking we could use that as a jump off point to get into the different islands. But it's politics, it's global. Westminster. It's King Charles is still saying he's the reigning master of the whole region. So it's that international issue. But I'm looking at St. Kitts, Nevis, and St. Lucia as very accessible. I'm looking at Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, very accessible. There was a Jamaica christening of the ship, Marcus Garvey, and social media. They're being more bold, trying to become independent.
Hmm.
Elder of the Marcus Garvey political program and the UNIA. They go back between politics and the UNIA town hall idea, but he was part of the christening of the Marcus Garvey ship. In 2018, there was a trip to the Maroons to try to have that system of government and that physical location, the headquarters of a new UNIA 6 years ago. Then Buju, of course, he's in the news. So those things are coming full circle in Jamaica. And in Trinidad, I think we're very welcome. I just added the Queen, the Paramount Chief there of the Maroons there, but she didn't pick up. She might be busy, but they have a whole organization. I was looking at Trinidad and Tobago as having a north and south district system. Same thing with St. Lucia. I was thinking that St. Kitts and Nevis could have one branch in each, one headquarter, even Anguilla, let's say one branch in each island, and then branch out to the more rural or different areas. So I was trying to keep the numbers low as far as districting, having before
Right.
and having the program set. I have a lot of my people in Florida are coworkers, but we also have a Caribbean radio station that's Haitian owned, and that whole royalty system we're talking about reviving it, and or they have the chiefs and things. We're talking about bringing them on board, but there's a language barrier. There's security issues where we don't know. We have to see with Haiti. But St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Jamaica are very accessible. And a lot of the stuff we talk about, UNIA is just an African town hall or a town hall meeting. Even in the politicians have to do that in St. Kitts. I've been looking online. They have to, they still have that. We meet the people where they are. So if we just open it up and be on ground and say, hey, we should open up this meeting to representatives to hear about Garveyism or not. Let's say the town hall system. Let's say uh, somebody from Jamaica comes through and then they hear about it and then they export it to their island. Or it's a town hall or it's a teaching or a skill system. If we open it up, people will see from different islands and export it. But there's also we could try the government approach. We'll see. We'll see what we could do. But there's several islands that I'm very confident about. Now the other ones was Bahamas. Let me see, the Bahamas and Barbados. I was looking at the Haitian associations there, as far as having a lot of them are having illegal immigration issues, and I was thinking we could reach out to them and have them as a rallying point because they're Haitian associations in those countries, so maybe they could gather other islands and start working with them. I was looking at Bahamas and Barbados in particular. Barbados has a UNIA group, but I'm not sure. They're not. I'm not sure about the
So
commitment.
this this other brother on the line, which jurisdiction is he from?
He's in Curacao near Venezuela Islands, and he's connected to Cuba as well. And Curacao just joined CARICOM. It's a strategic.
Speaks English?
Yes.
Yes, we speak English. We speak four languages here in Curacao. We speak English, Dutch, Spanish, Papiamento. Papiamento is our a
Creole.
local language,
Right.
but because of the situation, we are a colony of Netherlands, so we speak Dutch too. But to survive in this region, you must speak Spanish because you are around of a
A lot of
Spanish
Spanish people.
island like Colombia, Venezuela, those countries, and English international language. So we speak four language. In Curacao, we are very, very hard busy about Pan African things. Last year,
Wow.
UNA was in Curacao celebrate the 65 convention of UNIA. Uh, the headquarters, the chief of the UNA was here in Curacao. I met them. I talked with them. Curacao is Division 100 of the UNIA, but the people of UNIA in Curacao, they are so busy with gardening and the plantation, what they have the agriculture. They don't have for the administration to get people to get training things like that.
Hmm.
And we must be agree with with them, but always there are you have other group of Rastafari too. They want to do things by his own. They don't want to deal with the other peoples, and because every time they are looking, they if they involve other people with the stuff, they gonna lose the position. But we have a very big group who is busy with the Pan African things, and so that's the reason that UNESCO Africa is asking is busy with us in Curacao to do a congress in January 2026.
Wow. That's
So
Mm.
something more of 1 year, and 14 countries of Africa are coming to Curacao. So we
Mm.
are busy to make a program. We got the 31 of August. We're gonna celebrate here in Curacao the Afro descendants in Curacao, and this International Day. Those days we are using to promote what we are going to do. We have people from different organizations who are coming from Aruba too. They are coming, and we're going to make a plan so we can make a plan for January 26, and we start to make what uh, there is. You have a lot of organization. They try to make a connection between the countries in the Caribbean. You have organization like next year is the biggest festival in Santiago de Cuba, and they're gonna dedicate it to Curacao. I
Yeah.
went there 2 years ago. I talked with those people. They are more about solidarity with Puerto Rico, Venezuela for the blockade of United States. Uh, Other thing is they wanna that so fast possible that the islands in the Caribbean is no more um, country that like colonial countries.
Colonial.
They because the United Nations say in 10 years no island in the Caribbean must be. They don't want to see colonial island anymore. So
Hmm.
we are working in a lot of fields, but most important thing for me is that we must meet each other. We must travel between each other. That's why I'm busy too with two different airlines how to get a direct flight from the Caribbean to Africa, like Nigeria
Hmm.
or for Ghana, because they
Hmm.
are the two closest countries to the Caribbean. Um, Air Peace is busy with Barbados, and my like Air is busy to look how he can look for finance to do that. So we are busy with a lot of things, but people must need to fly to each other. They need to meet each other. You
Hmm.
can talk about Africa. You can keep talking. You can read about Africa. I can tell you from experience. You must be there. All
Hmm.
the knowledge that you have, but you must be there. And we must to start do things together. We must say we don't gonna buy any French wine or Italian wine anymore. We're gonna buy wine from South Africa. But South Africa must buy things from us too. Not
Hmm.
even is maybe the French wine of Spain is cheaper. You buy wine from South Africa. You know things like that. You buy cheese from our own people. You buy clothes by all our own people. We must start with that campaign and do it very, very hard.
Did,
People
did,
must know we need to support each other. I buy shoes from you, even your shoes is expensive, but I know I'm supporting brothers.
mhm,
I in Curacao, I got some brothers who doing business things, small things. Let's say juice. They made artificial thing. I buy juice by that guy every time I drive around where I see that guy. I buy juice from him because he's making local juice. If he, because he's selling juice fabricated too. But I told him always, if he see me, he don't even offer me the other juice. He offer me the juice that he make by himself. You know, we must start to just have contact with each other. Now I'm busy to go to Venezuela because this weekend they got something over there. The government invited me but my passport expired,
Hmm.
and I'm busy waiting for a new passport. Take long time, but maybe I gonna get urgent passport for them. So I am busy, but I need to see my information coming from the consul of Venezuela. We can do a lot, but we just start. No even worry about how many island we have, because from the one you're gonna get others.
Do you,
All the people that I get is because about reparation too, because Curacao is now in a CARICOM, and we are fighting that those people, the colonizer, pay reparation to the island who was in slavery, things like that. So
mhm.
we are doing a lot of things. It is not that the Curacao is slow or something like that. No, we are working very hard. We are not independent already. Our own people don't believe that, because they don't trust each other. If the Dutch people keep guide us, they're gonna do it better, because we're gonna kill each other. You know, they see the examples of Venezuela. They see the example from Haiti. They say, "Look what happened in Haiti. We don't want to be like that," because they don't know the story. They don't know the history. So by later, we are convincing them that every time that Netherlands do something bad with us, I told them what you expect from those people.
Right?
So
Mhm. But do you have? You mentioned Air Peace. I know they had a banking, the African Export Bank. Do you have contact with Barbados and Bahamas?
no,
The Air
I
Peace,
have as a chief, as a Zulu chief, Eric Phillips in
Guyana,
Guyana.
Guyana. Oh.
Yeah, he was telling me about a bank for support dissident African, but I don't hear nothing more about that system. But we need to convince people, black people, to invest. And there's a lot of Dutch people and people from the United States are investing in tourism in Curacao. There are large, big business they are doing now, but we don't have black people or own black people who got money. They realize that it's like the same thing in Africa. You got a lot of kings with a lot of money and land, and they are rich. They asking people from outside to come invest in their land, in his land, with agriculture. I say, why you start use your goals to invest in your own country, make agriculture, buy
Exactly.
machine, do
Yes,
something like that. The thing
Africa.
is, all of
Africa.
them in Africa, in Nigeria, you have but a lot of billionaires. I
Yes,
said, hey, listen, you
yes,
guys
son.
can, because in Curacao, if those black people see that uh, you have black people in the world who are investing, they're gonna be more pride of themselves. No, you
Mhm.
don't in Curacao, in at every level you see black people. Okay, that's okay. But those black peoples, they are like bounty. We call them bounty because inside is white and outside is black. You know, they
We say Oreo cookie.
yes too. We call them Oreo too
Coconut.
because they are outside they're black. They look like you, but the behavior is like the white people.
But
But because they don't have money by themselves. They are because they can study good in United States, Netherlands, and England. They come back. They're gonna work for those countries. In Curacao, they got a high level of education, but
mhm,
they know are owner of a hotel or casino or something like that.
mhm. One thing with Africa too, it's you have to remember it's colonized. A lot of these countries were created just to separate the chiefs and make them sell out, and the politicians sell out. The Berlin Conference is also called the Congo Conference to colonize Africa, and that's why Congo, they say, it's the richest piece of property and or the richest country, but they're always taking all the money out. All these kings they're all family, they're all related. It's just if we were to come together, we'd have maybe one country or one country in a couple different regions. But people the Africa is colonized, so a lot of what we're trying to do now, you see the Sahel Alliance, we're trying to get the kings and the military to come together. I think the Sahel Alliance is one where we're trying to start the UNIA. We have some UNIA in Nigeria and the kings over there. They're trying to come with the Sahel, the Biafra region, the East Africa Federation. We're trying to remove the block. We're trying to move as one economically. We're trying to get the kingdoms together, the chiefs, to basically create new countries. Sahel Alliance is actually the second one. The first one was the East Africa Federation with the Ugandan kings and Museveni. Uh, we also have the Mano River Union. There's UNIA there. That's four countries trying to come together. They want to talk, and so it's we have different countries forming in Africa where we're trying to erase the colonial boundaries. South Africa, we've had a lot of issues with that region. You know, it's not a lot of Southern Africa. Black people lost a lot of space and territory, so there it's hard for them to try to reunite with us as family and erase the borders. But we're trying to in different regions. East Africa Federation. We our leadership in Uganda just met with Swaziland, which is next to South Africa. We're going to get them eventually. We're starting in Uganda, Nigeria. Um, we have there's a lot of it is the tribes. This tribe wanted to be on top, but we're trying to create new countries. The Sahel Alliance, Nigeria, Burkina Faso. Everybody's related. We're all in groups together. We all know what we're supposed to be doing. But they have millions of people over there already organized, and for hundreds of years, thousands of years, we're trying to build capacity in the USA to say, okay, these are the leaders over there in Africa that they're creating new countries we could invest in, and super countries and federations. Now the Caribbean, you're having a federation, CARICOM, UNIA in the Caribbean. These communities that are black inhabited majority. Now we're looking at the USA. Florida is a place where I'm living at. It's right next to the Caribbean. 90 miles away is Bahamas. We can't even get Bahamas contacts that wants us to come in and to set up UNIA and town halls and meeting. And we can't even get good Bahamas connections. We're trying to talk to Haiti. The language barrier is there. So it's a lot of issues. I think I could reach Haiti. I think I
Because
could reach Haiti. Yeah.
realistically, my brother, it's something that we have to accept that the brain bleaching, the brain washing was really effective. Especially, it happened in the Caribbean, also in Africa where they were colonized, and as a result, a lot of our people they use the inclusivity where they make you feel you're included now in the society. There's no separate bathrooms, and black people can do everything that everybody else is doing now and all that. And a lot of our people got complacent. We sit
Exactly.
back, and so we don't feel like we need to struggle anymore. We don't
Yeah.
feel like we have to fight that fight anymore, when the reality is it's all a psychological brainwash game, and they have just took the shackles off of the hands and feet and
Hmm.
use that mental, psychological game against us, and it is still working. And so it is challenging when you have that kind of mindset. It's like, look at us. We're in 2024. Marcus Garvey was recognized and is recognized internationally. He is in with the top 100 philosophers of the world, not just in Jamaica, not just in the Caribbean, but in Jamaica. Marcus Garvey is still not a subject in school. In the Caribbean, nobody much talks about Marcus Garvey. I
Hmm.
mean, we just saw his Earth Strong pass on the 17th. How much contribution, how much was done to celebrate and recognize,
I
this
know.
brother and
I
the
know.
contribution he made in the Caribbean and all that. And so that's where we are. So for me right now, that's why I'm thinking we have to find, like the brother in QE so is talking about, what they have and what they still have. And so they have a vibrant UNIA. Now, what we have to kind of seek to do is find more of these vibrant organizations and see how they can help to assist the other organizations in the Caribbean. If they're not,
You see,
then help to get them re-registered and get them back
do you,
activated so we can
yeah.
also
Do you see the
reach out to the
do you
youth.
see the flags I put up and the numbers in
Which one?
the title of the group? So these are the strategic ideas that I had. There's flags in the title.
Hmm.
So it looks we had the call and we've been on maybe 25 minutes, but so far I feel confident. St. Lucia and the St. Kitts Nevis, very easy, I think. And I'm not sure about the Nyabingi Drum network or the Rasta network if they can
Yeah,
because
you see,
one of
my
one
brother, my
one
brother. Here's the thing.
uh-huh.
We may have. Well, I don't know because listening to the brother in Q, so it seems as if they really have a vibrant organization there.
Hmm.
How how much recognition is given to it, I really don't know. But what I can say, in a lot of the other Caribbean islands,
Hmm.
because because um,
Colonialism and
Marcus
uh-huh.
Garvey's philosophies and his objectives were adopted by Rastafari, so to speak, in the
Hmm.
region. Um, Even though some of them more tended to pay more attention to Haile Selassie and kind of lose that Marcus Garvey, energy. Um, because of that, and the fact that most of the Rastafari gravitated towards the Marcus Garvey movement and that, they sought to criminalize Rastafari and
Mm.
dehumanize Rastafari and make Rastafari look like it's the worst thing in the world. And as a result of that, anything that was and is associated with Rastafari was sort of scorned by society. And so you find that even though you may have these groups that still exist that were able to resist the fight that was given out to Rastafari and any other Afrocentric group, the remnant is pretty small. And so
Mm.
even if we try to, like, let's say, as you say, as we in get with Barbados, get with St. Lucia and so on, unless we these organizations get maybe some um, support in whatever ways to help to garner
Promotion.
more garner more members and put out the information and get more people encouraged. Um, the governments, I am not certain how much support you would get from government per se in this regard, because the governments, most of them, because they still seek to uphold that colonial rule, they
Westminster. Yeah.
they tend to see a movement like that, or movements like that, like whether it's Marcus Garvey or Rastafari, as the enemies to them, because we are going to help to wake up the people. And if the people get awoken, they would see that these governments are not necessarily for their best benefit, and then their game cannot continue. And so we find that we're in that kind of situation. So we have leaders who know that what they're doing is not right,
Hmm.
and the constitution was never really designed to benefit the people, but they do their best to keep the people pacified and give them
Hmm.
little handouts and make them feel comfortable and so on, so that they don't rebel. And that was the game. They used Christianity as a part of that as well. The church
Yeah.
missionaries came in and they started to pacify the people and tell them, slaves, obey your earthly masters as you would your master in heaven, and all of these kind of things, because
Uh-huh.
that was a part of the psychological brain washing
Hmm.
for the people. And so since the people got into that, it's like the need for fight, the need for that stand up and recognizing that, well, I mean, some of them don't even realize that they're brainwashed, and that's the sad part. Some people don't even realize that they're in this spell, and it's challenging when you're in a situation like that. So like we are seemingly looking like the crazy ones, How you
Mhm.
coming talking about Marcus Garvey? But Marcus Garvey done dead. Why you come with all your foolishness? That's the kind of energy that even our people. The same thing with the fight for reparations.
But you see,
Most of the fight,
you see
most of
what
the fight.
happened. You see what happened last week with Buju Banton and how it went viral.
Right.
What's been happening is that some of the people in the UNIA movement have even been trying to block this movement. So this is the first time he's been saying it, but people have been saying that for years that we need to bring the Maroons and the Rasta and the Igbos. We need the 50. That's Igbos is 50 million people. That's larger than the Caribbean population itself. So
So we have
we've
to.
been trying to come and that's only one group that's been trying to come over to the Marcus Garvey movement. That's all,
Well, you
but
see,
it's
and
been
we still
blocked
have
by the
that.
same people trying to become the Westminster president of Jamaica, president of Virgin Islands,
Exactly.
but they're the ones saying
Exactly.
they're the UNIA. But
Exactly.
even
So
the
you see,
African in the West Indies and this university, the first thing you learn in African uh, education is that they had a whole different grade education system. So I could start teaching you
yeah,
Marcus Garvey based on if you were born in this 4 year gap. We'll start teaching you Marcus Garvey from the womb. You don't have to be, and we could teach you in the house. But or we could teach you in this place. But we didn't have K through 12 education, and that's the selling out. Even the education system, they'll sell out. They won't teach you the real thing that the different ways we could educate our children because they need to validate the degree, they need to write a paper, and that's part of that's the education system. Some of them are selling out. We're not teaching you how to educate your children or adapting new ways to educate your children. Everything has to be K through 12. I forget what they call it, the Oxford education, Oxford. So even that, even you don't see you see the politics, but even we where I'm from, we taught people how to educate. We still have like the largest apprenticeship education system, outdoor university. We taught people how to refine gasoline in their backyards, build rockets. Like you could teach the university system at a grassroots level. A lot of things. We fought it at a war. We did that during the war. So we're coming, but this I'm very enthusiastic about what's going on now because you know, like I was adamant that we had to have St. Kitts because that's a play. If we get all the big islands, we can still miss St. Kitts and St. Lucia, which is 200,000 people. That's
right.
like missing a big island. Like Barbados is 300,000. Those three islands or four islands right there, that's the same number almost. And we can miss it, and then we can run into an issue with the brainwashing in Miami and Barbados, and like one of the points I'm looking at, we have maybe us can count four islands or maybe five, maybe six if we count Curacao and Cuba, and then Venezuela, Guyana. He has a big network. That's a lot of places. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Florida and how they're close to all these big islands, Bahamas, Barbados. I don't know. I don't know. So we have a lot of islands on board. This is a good meeting, and we have a lot of countries on board already. And then I haven't called my people in Florida, but this is like exploring what we're going to do. Um, but I have to see because I'm seeing a big network already here. I'm seeing a big network. It's all about traveling, setting up the finance to travel. Um, I'm seeing a big network here. Jamaica wasn't here because it would be redundant, and they get excited and start to their number dominate a lot of chats. But we have Jamaica on board. We have Trinidad, St. Kitts, and St. Lucia. They're very easy to get to. Curacao is connected to Cuba, and they're already registered with UNIA, and that's one of the bigger Antilles islands. So we have a large network here, just a few people, but it's been a this is before the internet. People would not be able to know what's going on with the UNIA or the roster killings or any of that. But now we're seeing that there's been a lot of politicians taking up the UNIA spots. But Garvey created a political party after his movement fell apart. He tried to just get into politics, and so a lot of that, you saw that a lot of that, and then the Rastafari movement that took the a lot of the movement as far as building an empire and African culture and kings and building your African system of government. That went into the Rasta movement, and then you know what happened there: fighting and killing. So, but the Garvey movement, we're trying to bring it back. So, or we're bringing it back. It's just a few more. I'm trying to see what to do with Florida. There's big islands right next to us. Haiti actually already traveled to Nigeria, so it's a possibility if we travel to Nigeria and meet the right people, we could summon the Haitians and organize from Nigeria with and skip Haiti, but organize Haiti from Nigeria. That's a possibility, or maybe organize from one of these islands that's easy to communicate with. So I have to Florida. I have to look at Miami, which is a big Caribbean population, but they're not doing anything with the embassies, or it might be the brainwashing there. But I have to figure out what Florida is going to do, and a few more islands. And I think we could reconvene at a later date. Um, but is there's people ready to travel to Nigeria or anything like that, or set up systems? We're gonna convene at a later date. We've been on here 40 minutes, but this is
That
good.
that that would need financing. So that's the thing.
Okay,
That's
one thing with finance is like I want to put it out here. What if we have? I'm sure Curacao has capacity, but do you have capacity if we have a financial education class? Like some of us purchase a class. This is stock market, making trading, reading computers, how to make money in a short amount of time, and understanding how not to lose it. Investing in real estate, maybe locally. Would you be able to set up classes with your
well,
connection in the
well.
island?
These are
Or
things. These are things that I'm sure definitely, as long as, like I said, the setup is available. There are people I can reach out to that would be able to help to facilitate things like that. Like I said, it will come down to financing, because even though you would have to probably get a place, you don't have some of these, like it's gonna take finance. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, we can get people to tap into this, and these are things that we really need to do because a lot of us in the Caribbean, as you spoke about education from K to 12, in our jurisdiction in the Caribbean, a lot of us are not taught financial literacy. So we get the basics because, like I was pointing out, the education that we got and we're still getting is what is considered general education. It's education that aids you to function effectively in a society that was already created for you. So we don't necessarily are taught to be entrepreneurs and taught to really manage businesses and so on. You're taught with the mindset of learning and passing your subjects so you can get a good job. That's the thinking. So the education system has failed us in those regards. So the kind of system that you're talking about, these are things that we probably will have to create and maybe start to have our own kind of schools where we can model these kinds of education systems that you're talking about that is utilized like in China and some of these other places where they start their children from very young. You see them learning mechanics or learning to cook or learning to build a fire or learning to sew or learning, they're training in some cases, all of these different things they do from a very young age. We are just geared to be cogs in the wheel and continue the system that they create.
the
That's
Igbo,
how.
the
So it's,
Igbo,
the education and religion were used as tools of that same psychological game, that Willie Lynch psychological game, and it is very effective because we're still holding on to it.
Mhm.
What we need to do is talking with the Nollywood. We need movies. All the other country built up with movies because children's looking movie and they wanna be the actors in the movie.
Mhm.
The behavior of the children, they wanna be like that. If you see the African movies now, you don't see much thing about hero, small guy. Hollywood is making. movie about
R-
like
yeah,
woman king, things like that. Those
superheroes.
movies must be Nollywood must understand to build up the African people. If he wanna spread around the world with all the Caribbean islands, he must make movies that
Yes,
is
yes,
attraction, that teach, that it give people inspire to
yes,
some
yeah,
people, and
yeah.
those people got money to do that. You have a lot of king and chiefs in Africa. So
Uh-huh.
if you want that you people, diaspora, respect you guys, got information about you, you must put it in making movies. Not only jokes, jokes, everybody laugh, 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 laugh. And
Yeah.
I tell you, bullshit movies, man and woman
See,
doing.
th-
We are too much focused in
yeah,
jokes,
yeah. So this
you
is what
know?
your son. This is what it connects to what you said because I research comic books and superheroes. The superhero or Superman is the idea of the best idea of your civilization. So that's why you'll have a Thor, the European put their religion and their gods and their best of their civilization there. But in Africa, they say they demonized it and said, hey, because if you look at the African cultures and they're all related, then you have one country and you keep on, they don't want to promote that. So they'll promote Christianity and make you fight over which tribe you're from, not knowing that they're all related. So that's why even in the movies, you very rarely see the African cultures because they're all related. They don't want to promote that. So we have to go face to face. We have to keep having this conversation and promoting it. Like I'm connected to the king that could hear this, or the community that could hear this and say, "Oh, this is the best of our civilization. This is our version of this concept and God, and put it into the superheroes, and put it into the different movies. But if you look at Nollywood, it is all jokes, or the king looks like a fool, or someone who's always cheating with women, and you don't understand that it's all jokes. But that is something that we're going to look at. We're looking at. But
Yeah.
this
And then
conversation,
you,
these everybody knows this, but it's good when you have the Caribbean. Now you have all these islands represented, and now you have these Africans that are like where I'm from. The Biafra is basically related to Congo, Zulu, Southern Africa, Central Africa, East Africa. We're related, so we get those people on board. Uganda's there, Swaziland, the Zulus. We're all one block. So we say, oh, we could duplicate this over as half of Africa. Then the Sahel Alliance. That's Kush. That's Sudan, Egypt, the Nile, the Niger River. It's only two blocks in Africa that we're looking at. We know we're related. So we say
in
we hear what you're saying, and we give it to the kings there and say North Africa and South Africa, starting from Nigeria, are all related. Sudanese, the Bantu, the Kush, the Sahel, we're all related. So we're going to hear this and we're going to multiply. And we're going to put it in effect. And we do need a yeah.
September, this September 15th, you're gonna have a new jam festival in Ghana. It's a Igbo New Jam Festival. A lot of
Okay.
people around the world gonna go there. Three people of us gonna from Curacao gonna travel to Ghana to experience the New Jam Festival. There they got the instruction. I'm busy with them and how I talk with the king already in Ghana to receive them well, give them an inspiration about what's be in Africa. Things like that. Those things are working,
Mhm.
and I can go, but I can look for three people who can go. The group was bigger, but because I promised them a flight, direct flight from the Caribbean to Ghana. The others say we're gonna wait for the direct flight, and five others say no, we're gonna go. Even we need to go to Holland, Netherlands, but now three got everything paid, so those three gonna go for sure. Things like that. We must go to participate and things. And always, you can send two, three people over there, two, three people over there. Uh, the next year, the um, Caribbean Festival in Santiago de Cuba, that I'm sure we need to charter airplanes to go because it's closer, it's cheaper, and they are speaking Spanish in Cuba. So those things are moving, but I'm busy to tell those people, we are not tourists. We go to meet our brothers. It is not like I go with the tourists looking for the beach. No, we are in a mission, contact, experience our people, our own people. That's what we're gonna promote now in Curacao.
Cuba has a lot of. I know they have a lot of African chiefs. From where they call it Cabildo de Naciones. They have African chieftaincy houses since way back for hundreds of years. So they preserve their culture very good in Cuba, and that's one of the reasons why USA has a blockade on them because they still have the
Yeah.
African system, just like Rastafari tried to create it. And with Ethiopia, they have maybe Dahomey, they have Igbo, they have Efik from Nigeria, Biafra region. They have Yoruba systems there in Cuba. So a lot of people do not like Cuba because they have the African, they say social systems or socialism, where
Yeah.
you have to belong to maybe the African tribe or kingdom house, the Cabildo, to purchase from them. They also have the Panther Society, Abakwa, where the Leopard Society, they police themselves, they raise the children, and they fight. They even they could assassinate you. They police. They have the secret police from where I'm from, Abakwas, Calabar region. So they have a strong connection, strong preservation of African culture in Cuba, where the USA does not want that to come over or spread. So they blockade them. They're not part of CARICOM. Because they still have African chiefs, just like Haiti had the voodoo chiefs in the neighborhoods. So Cuba, Haiti that's why they're hated a lot. So the Cuba, so
Brothers, I need to
we have to
go.
make sure the Cuba trip is very successful.
Yeah, it's gonna be successful. They have it every year. But I need to leave now because I must prepare my things. I'm busy with the other people's. Okay, thank you for calling.
Okay,
Keep
Yes, it was
with
a
us.
pleasure talking to you.
okay.
Nice meeting you.
Okay,
Thank you. We'll
All
bye.
right.
continue. Bye. All right, brother Yasan. I know. I don't want to keep you too long. I think this was a good meeting. But I was interested in the Naya Bingi. I know you said that they've been persecuted, but I know that the Bahamas has the Rastafari movement, uh, several different ones. The Bobo Shanti, maybe Naya Bingi,
Yeah.
maybe. Do you have connection with them or in Jamaica too, where it could be maybe we stop in Saint Kitts first and then bounce to these regions? Is it a strong
Well,
connection?
yeah, I am a part of an organization, ORU, in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Organization of Rastafari Unity, and they're also connected to the CRO, which is the Caribbean Rastafari Organization. I think, brother, I think you talked about him some time back, from the Nyabingi. Um, what's his name again? My brethren.
Mu-
I don't remember
I
his
talked
name
about
right now.
Muta
No,
Barufa.
from Saint Lucia. No, from Saint Lucia. From Saint
I
Lucia.
thought
Uh,
EWF. I
I
didn't.
am not.
I, I don't know
I think he
anybody by
was.
name.
Yeah, he. Anyway, though, yeah. So that organization connects with a lot of the different Rastafari organizations throughout the Caribbean. So through Rastafari, yes, we could make the connections. Um, how vibrant, and that's one of the things that I guess we'll have to find out as we do this. How vibrant is the UNIA in some of these other jurisdictions? Because some Caribbean territories maintain the UNIA along with Rastafari, or in some cases there's not a UNIA, but Rastafari kind of still give a lot of respect to Marcus Garvey, and so the missions of Marcus Garvey is kind of more pushed through Rastafari. So that is something that I guess we would have to
I'm
figure out.
I'm trying to reduce the number of headquarters because that is a. I only know because I'm from Nigeria. I say, oh, these are all my people, DNA. But
Hmm.
so I'm not going to live forever. A good organization could live when it's the idea. The guy is gone. So I'm saying, can we have a certain amount of headquarters? Maybe St. Kitts. Hey, look at the flag. Look at the. They deserve special recognition, and they're a
Yeah,
good
so
place.
I can incorporate the Rastafari organization. I can get them involved, and that can be one of the headquarters. And then like if you say you have connections in Saint Lucia, then that could be one because it's another vibrant community. We also have connections there. Jamaica, yeah, there is connections. The Rastafari, the Nyabingi in Jamaica is connected. Um,
And the
so
Maroons,
yeah.
okay. Well, a lot of the UNIA, they're not even. Well, I messaged one that I thought was doing the work as far as they're inviting different associations in St. Martin, so they're trying to get all the islands and ethnic groups together without
Mhm.
they're not looking for votes. But I'll say it like this. I feel. Well, I've talked to all the UNIA groups in the islands, and they're not in the group because I don't believe in them. I'll say it up front. Barbados, I think they deserve a fair chance, but that's about it. Curacao and Barbados, that's who I invited. St. Martin, I invited, but everybody I've talked to for years, and they have the ability to say, hey, this is maybe a Caribbean association, or this is the government. Can you gather all the different islands together to represent a big mass meeting? Because the UNIA, all it is a town hall, just like you have a planning association for a Caribbean carnival. Say get all these islands together because we need to get free. That's what Marcus Garvey did. He took the energy of carnival and he put it into getting free. And a lot of people, you could tell that they're not doing that. You don't see this flag at the meeting. You don't see that one at the meeting. So none of them are really. It's not the UNIA is vibrant. They're just not doing the work. You should see every flag represented. There's no reason, but what you see is they're at the podium talking to this politician and having this presentation and African centered this and that. But where's all the flags? That's the telltale sign. The same way you never really saw carnival back in the day in Garvey's time. Maybe it wasn't they weren't letting all that skin show, but Garvey took all that energy and he put it into his organization. All the flags you could see were at his convention. So that's what we're trying to do. Just carnival, but for freedom, to get out of all this colonial control. So it should be the same number of. Even if you're struggling, we should be able to tell that you're trying to organize these different islands in these different nationalities in your locality. Like we know there's a Virgin Islands Jamaican Association. Why aren't they at your meetings? So that's what we're trying to see. If they're the Saint Kitts, if you know somebody from Antigua is in Saint Kitts, oh he's a Rasta. How are we going to get to your islands? I mean that's what Rasta been doing. So we'll see. But a lot of the UNIA groups, you could try to talk to them about it, but I've done it for years. But
Okay.
yeah,
So then, as you say, you just want to have some headquarters and
yeah. I
move
mean,
from there.
even Saint the story is everything. So you look at Saint Kitts and Nevis, and they were able to pass the roster bill for what it's worth. Coming out of slavery, you pass a roster
Yeah,
bill. But
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 you
look at
see,
but look
that's
at
why I'm.
this, but look at this. Look at this.
Uh-huh.
Technically, they're still under King Charles. And look at Haiti; they created a kingdom, and they would look what happened to them. But Saint Kitts, even if it's ceremonial and it's fake or whatever, it's not strong enough. They created a Ross. Ross means king or lord. They created a bill, and they have the red and black and green flag, and it's. They're all
Yeah, but you see
it's part of the
that's
British. It's part. Let's say we're creating a British. Okay, everybody's under the British. We're going to use St. Kitts as a base to reach all these British controlled islands and promote an agenda of liberation, town halls, and liberty and African culture. So let's say St. Kitts is a base. Now you're talking about 10 different countries. Just so we agree. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
It's just how you tell the story about. So, but if I'm looking confused, like I don't know how to get to Bahamas, or it's right there, and now people start to lose interest because I don't have a plan. So that's why I'm asking Bahamas. I was asking about that, but because that's really close. Haiti, there's a language issue, but it's okay. From Jamaica, you could get to Haiti with the Nigerian High Commission, I think. I'm not sure how to get to Bahamas, but Barbados is attached to Trinidad by Nigerian High Commission. And there's a UNIA there, but really, really, Florida historically is Bahamas. The black people ran away there for freedom, the Bahamas, but now I don't know. It's not a strong connection. I have an organization here, but I'll let you go. It's been an hour, and I thank you for your time. But I'm going to reevaluate my strategy for the other islands. But this gives me a good idea that St. Kitts is strong. Even a lot of we have basically most of the islands, right? The
Hmm.
lower Lesser Antilles and the Greater Antilles. Cuba is involved, which we don't hear about. So we have a strong movement. The USA. I talked to a brother. Um, the big region in the USA, the Delta, Mississippi Delta. They're on board. I think Florida is going to be on board. So I just have to tighten up. But you guys are solid in the Caribbean. And the next step, I have to bring the USA people on board and figure out a few more of these small, big islands. It really Bahamas. I don't know what's going on. 'Cause I talked to a brother from Bahamas in the USA, but you talked about the whitewashing and everybody's comfortable. you
That's what
know,
I'm telling you, man. It's the
I
struggle
said
throughout the
I'm in
region,
Disneyland. If not Disneyland, it's Miami Vice. I don't know what they're doing in Miami, so I don't know. But Miami, I don't know if you have connection to Miami, but they have the government had to register a yellow pages almost of all the black organizations in Miami,
Mm.
right next to the governments. Like they all meet each other and see each other in the streets. Like that, all we can do is carnival. So I don't know. Well, and a lot of people are in different UNIAs in Miami, but you never see all the flags at the UNIA or Garvey meeting. So I'm like, this is a political thing. You want to
That's
make
how
it.
it is, man.
You want to make
That's how it
You want to
is.
put UNIA under brand Jamaica, quote unquote, and then you want a republic, and then you want to. I'm reading the headlines, and I'm saying I'm not stupid. No,
Right?
it's always a Jamaica only thing. So it's a politic. Okay, I said enough, but I'm gonna. This is gonna be a video. No, this is gonna be episode 1 or something. But I'm gonna follow up. Everybody can see that we're organizing, but I'm gonna follow up. Thank you.
No problem, bro.
One love.
I know.